Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Days of Our Lives spoilers claim that Justin Kyriakis, Wally Kurth, was unsure he could keep Sarah Horton's pregnancy a secret because Xander Cook was family and he'd been in his shoes before. Despite Justin's reservations about hiding life-altering information from Xander, Bonnie Kyriakis made him pledge to keep his mouth shut. However, Bonnie finally informed Justin about Xander's close relationship with Chloe Lane. Bonnie wondered if Xander would put the brakes on if he knew Sarah was carrying his child. Bonnie contacted Sarah in a private moment and left a frightened voicemail. Bonnie was doing her best, but she wasn't sure she could keep Sarah's pregnancy a secret any longer. On Wednesday's Days episode, Xander informed Chloe that Bonnie was acting strangely and revealed the events of their recent encounter at the Kyriakis mansion. When Xander discussed Bonnie's trip to Chicago and how she met Sarah there, Chloe assumed Sarah was still fresh in Bonnie's memory and that she'd soon forget about her. Chloe and Xander were in the pub later when Justin arrived to get some takeaway. While he waited, Xander and Chloe urged Justin to join them, but he appeared uneasy owing to the secret he needed to conceal. Julie Williams, Susan Seaforth Hayes, approved of Chad DeMera, Billy Flynn, enjoying a romantic meal with Stephanie Johnson. Abigail Klein, in the dining room on Wednesday's DOL episode. Julie also saw Chad had removed his wedding ring, indicating that she agreed with his decision. Stephanie later revealed to Chad that Kayla Johnson and Steve Johnson were probably grateful for the alone time. Despite the lack of tension, Stephanie believed it was time for her to find her own place. Chad wondered how Stephanie would feel about living together somewhere else if she had felt that way about living with Julie and Doug Williams. Stephanie agreed to move in with Chad after he offered to talk to the kids' therapist and make sure they were okay with it. Maggie Kyriakis interrupted Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, and Brady Black's celebration at Basic Black on Wednesday's Days episode. Alex had assisted Brady in closing a transaction with Yuri Kasanov, Josh Flagg, the same client with whom he had failed at Titan. Maggie accused Alex of doing it on purpose and portrayed him as a traitor because he worked for the rival. Alex contended that Titan was a dinosaur and that Yuri wanted to do business with someone he could slay. Maggie eventually warned that she could slay with the best of them and stated her willingness to fight back. Brady chastised Alex for his omission lie after Maggie had left. He reminded Alex that he needed to be honest if this was going to work because he hadn't disclosed almost landing the Yuri deal for Titan. Brady didn't think it was necessary for Alex to call Yuri and cancel the arrangement. Although Alex was unconcerned about Maggie, Brady noted that she was unhappy and didn't appear to be taking this lying down. Maggie interrupted Chad and Stephanie's makeout session on Wednesday's Days episode to inquire if Chad would want to come work for her at Titan. They enjoyed a little pizza party alone with Steve and Kayla and were grateful to have each other after all the drama they'd gone through these previous several months. Kayla and Steve were even more determined to never take their future for granted after Abe Carver and Paulina Price were separated on their anniversary. Despite Steve and Kayla's optimism, Days of Our Lives spoilers indicate that the future may still throw some curveballs, so stay tuned to DOL. Stephanie was taken aback by Chad's job offer. Days of Our Lives spoilers and updates hint that Chad DeMera will be given an unexpected career opportunity. He and Stephanie Johnson are both surprised when Maggie Kyriakis asks him to return to Titan. Our Daily Lives contain spoilers Chad DeMera hasn't worked for Titan in years. It's been years since Chad worked at Titan, when he collaborated with Will Horton, Sonny Kyriakis, and others. Gabby Hernandez was still running her business, Gabby Chick, and she lived upstairs in the Kyriakis home with her and Will's children. Will, Sonny, and Chad primarily worked in the mansion's office. The offices were not located outside at the time. Chad departed on his own, traveling to Paris with his family and then returning. Maggie has been looking for a replacement for Alex Kyriakis, Robert Scott Wilson, whom she had fired. Xander Kirkakis spoilers. Irony of ironies. The comedy of ironies is that after competing with Alex over Stephanie, he is now being offered his job. But he will have to be retrained. It won't be the same without Will and Sunny. But he certainly doesn't want to work with Alex if Maggie rehires him. After all, Justin Kyriakis was upset when she fired his son, and he may be rooting for his rehiring. But Alex bungled a large contract in which all he had to do was close. Maggie had everything else planned. Alex and his ego cost them the client. Maggie trusts Chad and would even trust Xander over Alex. So when Chad has to make a critical decision, she's not giving Alex any more opportunities. Our daily lives, Chad Demura enjoys working with Stephanie Johnson. Chad enjoys working with Stephanie and hopes that Maggie will have a spot for her as well. They began as a consulting firm for Titan, but were not technically employees. That was when Alex met Stephanie, and he and Chad got into a rivalry over her, which was not fun. They are taking things to the next level with one another, therefore Chad's decision will involve Stephanie as well, and they will debate it as a pair. Chad and Stephanie will take their time answering, considering all perspectives as well as Chad's children's needs. They're confident Maggie will understand why they're taking their time to ensure this is the right decision, though Chad swears not to take too long. Days of Our Lives spoilers predict that Stephanie Johnson, Abigail Klein, will be pleased with Chad Demura's decision to remove his wedding ring. That was a difficult step for Chad, but he has made peace with the loss of Abigail Demura and appears to be ready to go forward with Stephanie. Chad and Stephanie will take an amazing step forward as a relationship over the week of June 19 to 23. The timing appears to be good for Stephanie and Chad to begin living together, but Days watchers may expect a new love stumbling block shortly. Because Alex Kyriakis declined Maggie Kyriakis' invitation to return to his previous position at Titan, she urged Xander Cook, Paul Telfer, to take his place. Maggie will have to find another candidate after Xander rejects the role, according to Days spoilers. Maggie appears to be settling on Chad, as she extends an enticing job offer that surprises both Chad and Stephanie. Of all, Chad has a lot of corporate experience, so Maggie would think he'd be right at home on her Titan team. Although Chad would not be the top dog, he could still make a significant impact and assist Maggie in taking the firm to the next level. Days spoilers indicate that this would be a terrific challenge for Chad. But what about his current position as Stephanie's assistant? Chad is a tremendous assistant to Stephanie at SJPR, and working as a team allows them to spend more time together. If Chad quits his current position to work for Titan, the announcement will undoubtedly have an impact on his relationship. It could also have an impact on Stephanie's PR agency, so they'll need to have a serious discussion about it before Chad accepts. Stephanie is on good terms with Alex again and considers him a friend. Thus, she may object to Chad taking his place. Chad may claim that it's more than fair because Alex declined the job, but Stephanie may find it odd. Isn't it possible that Chad is attempting to take over Alex's life? Chad stole the lady Alex loves and may be taking over his previous position now. Thus, Alex may eventually accuse him. There's also the possibility that Chad and Alex will be set against one another as business rivals. If Alex and Chad's feud escalates, Stephanie may find herself caught in the thick of all the DOL drama. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Stephanie and Chad's romance may be doomed if he accepts this job, so stay tuned for more information on a possible separation. Chad and Stephanie are getting ready to make another big move. Days of Our Lives spoilers show that Chad is attempting to go further with Stephanie than ever before on Wednesday, June 21, 2023. Our Daily Lives spoilers. Chad Demura and Stephanie Johnson's new beginning. Stephanie Johnson may have been put on edge when Alex Kyriakis reported that Chad Demura still wore his wedding band, but Chad removed it that same day when he visited Abigail Demura's cemetery on the first anniversary of her death. He told her about Stephanie and hoped Abby would be fine with him moving on. And Chad will be moving on when he and Stephanie decide to take their relationship to the next level on Wednesday. They've already slept together, and marriage is far too soon, right? Do they make the decision to live together? Chad does not even have his own apartment. Furthermore, how will his parents respond? Steve Johnson and Kayla Brady Johnson appear to be having a romantic day as well, taking some time off for a little love in the afternoon. They've been through a lot this year, and Steve thought his sweetness had died for a spell. But she's returned, and they're stronger than ever. Duo of spoilers. Xander Cook and Chloe Lane are intrigued, and Maggie Horton has a surprise for them. Xander Cook is still perplexed as to what Bonnie Lockhart Kyriakis was talking about when she appeared under pressure to fabricate a fiction about Sarah Horton. He tells Chloe Lane about his strange chat, and she is intrigued as well. Will either of them realize that Mimi Lockhart is not pregnant, but that Sarah is carrying Xander's child? This might devastate Xander and Chloe's budding romance.